over 50% of Gen Z would rather be a content creator than work a traditional 9-to-5 job.
Do not, under any circumstance, quit your job to pursue content creation full-time.
Content creation is killing us.
Mentally exhausting.
Online defamation, harassment.
I hope we recognize it for what it is. It's madness. It has to change. It has to stop.
Imagine waking up when you want. You lounge around bed for a while, scrolling through Twitter and TikTok. Soon, you feel hungry, so you get up and have a bite to eat. It might be morning, afternoon, or even night. Whatever the time of day it is, you wake up your computer and get to work. It's almost time for stream. You start the game that you want to play, go live, and start playing. Your chat flies by, and you pick out messages to read and respond to. You get some donations and super chats, who you think. After a few hours, you say goodbye for the day and end stream. You've made a decent amount from donations, and you've got memberships and subscription payments coming as well. Sounds pretty nice, right? A career in content creation has likely been the envy or dream for many of us who have watched videos or streams since we were young. Compared to a conventional job, it seems idyllic, with your own schedule and the ability to have fun while working, including playing games or spending time with friends. Well, it turns out that online content creation, live streaming, and VTubing may not be as pleasant or straightforward as many people believe. Sit back and relax as we explore the physical, mental, and social hazards of online content creation that are not oftentimes discussed. Content creation is not oftentimes thought of as a particularly physically hazardous job. After all, what is so dangerous about sitting at your desk for most of the day? While it is true that mental and social health issues are both more recognized and more significant, the physical and ergonomic problems that arise from daily prolonged device use and sedentary habits cannot be ignored. To be clear, these physical health concerns are not limited to content creators. About a fourth of the world's population did not achieve the World Health Organization's recommendation on physical activity in 2016. But, as an example, esports players on average accumulate anywhere from 3.5 hours to 10 hours of gaming per day, which may not be far from what many content creators or even some viewers experience. And while strong data exploring the health status of esports players is limited, we have known for decades that more sitting time is linked to obesity, heart disease, and even early death.
When it comes to gaining weight, everyone talks about the freshman 15, right? What about the office job 16?
The numbers show that people can gain an average of 16 pounds about 8 months after they move into a new desk job. It's only one of the symptoms of a condition known as sitting disease. So sitting disease, it seems relatively extreme, but what are we talking about here?
Sitting disease refers to the notion that there's a relationship between how sedentary we are and cardiovascular disease and all-cause mortality. So if we're not moving, we're more likely to develop cardiovascular disease.
Extended desk work and poor posture are also associated with neck and back pain, as well as carpal tunnel syndrome. And let's not forget how many streamers and content creators find it difficult to make time for adequate meals, restful sleep, or time to de-stress in between long streams, donathons, deadlines, recordings, sponsorship work, meetings, and so on. And we'll get more into stress later. It's no surprise that with all of these factors and more affecting the lifestyle of content creators, maintaining healthy habits can feel impossible. And when physical health suffers, mental health is often not far behind. Content creation can be very taxing mentally. Many content creators, streamers, and VTubers have voiced their challenges with maintaining their mental health. And cancellations, short breaks, and long and indefinite hiatuses are not an unusual sight. How is this the case? Well, for starters, work can be more demanding than most viewers realize.
Ever wondered if you have what it takes to be a VTuber? Let's go over the details. First, we have streaming, the schedules, coming up with a consistent plan to stick to every week. From gaming to ASMR, any niches you'd like to focus on or days you want to commit to. Then we have content releases, covers, shorts, script writing, long-form videos. Let's not forget any other external platforms with subscription-based systems to consistently upload to as well. Then there's networking, conventions, opportunity hunting, performances, appearances, making sure to keep a positive rep with people in the industry. Tie this all in with budgeting for a model, stream assets, regular commissions, music videos, mixes, trip expenses, etc. Oh, and how can I forget? Community gaming nights, watch-alongs, merch releases, meet and greets.
Of course, not all content creators, or even VTubers, need to involve themselves in all of these activities to become successful. But the pressure that is associated with maintaining a constant presence on digital platforms and social media can build, worsened by the fact that disconnecting from everything can be next to impossible. In a study of YouTube beauty influencers, feelings of guilt related to unconscious work, delayed video posts, artistic blocks, and failure to keep social media platforms up to date were seen, which could lead to anxiety or worsening self-esteem. For full-time content creators, the demands of online presence, the need for networking and social inclusion, and the desire for views and clicks are all necessary to make a living. While full-time content creation may sound like a dream job, the truth is that a successful enough career to meet the rising cost of living is increasingly rare, as income disparity widens between the most popular creators and everyone else. In April of 2025, 6 researchers from the University of British Columbia, Stanford University, and the University of Michigan, led by Roijing Zhao and Brian Diep, published a large-scale analysis in the VTubing industry, showing steadily increasing inequality since 2018, a trend mirrored in other forms of content. Income inequality alone is problematic to deal with, but this is compounded even further by the volatility and uncertainty that comes with viewership and algorithms in media platforms such as YouTube.
Now, the main reason is the way the YouTube algorithm works and how it values constant growth of viewership. So when you post a new video, it will get a little ranking against your recent uploads, and if it's performing better than all of your previous 10 uploads, it will get a 1 out of 10. And if it's performing worse than all of your recent uploads, it will get a 10 out of 10. Now, my anecdotal experience is that 1 out of 10s are almost self-fulfilling. You get a 1 out of 10 and YouTube's like, oh, this channel's doing pretty well. And then you'll start getting like a string of 1 out of 10s where YouTube is recommending your channel more because your channel is doing well. But the same thing goes for 10 out of 10s. If you get a handful of 10 out of 10s in a row, it is hard to claw yourself out of that hole, because from YouTube's perspective, it's like basically going, this guy's bombing, we need to take him off the platform immediately.
This uncertainty and unpredictability can be a major source of stress, especially if a creator depends on revenue from content to make regular payments on basic needs such as bills or food. Streamers may appear to be more resistant to this kind of uncertainty, as most stream regularly, multiple days a week. But even then, revenue from each stream can vary wildly, with sharp spikes associated with key moments, birthdays, anniversaries, celebrations, meetups, or releases. Zhao and Diep note, Quote, "For most people, being a VTuber is far from being profitable and stable. In the platform's gig economy, most streamers face economic instabilities and can be subject to various challenges posed by the platform, including demonetization and algorithmic biases." End quote. Joining a larger organization or company may appear to be a solution, where branding, marketing, and sponsorships may be easier to achieve and obtain. However, it is oftentimes an imperfect answer, where one form of stress is traded for another. Contracts with high demands, tight deadlines, long hours, limited creative freedom, non-disclosure agreements, fees, and costs paid to the organization or company are among the many complaints with this career choice, worsened further by the general lack of regulation in the industry. Zhao and Diep had much to say on the corporate VTuber landscape, remarking that, quote, "Agencies alter the power dynamics between streamers and the platform, making streamers easier to prosper and more resistant to the exploitation of the platform. However, affiliation with an agency does not necessarily benefit the VTuber career. While VTubing agencies shield VTubers from platform risks, they could also exploit VTubers. As the agencies own the anime avatar, the YouTube channel, and the content, voice actors can be reduced to replaceable assets of the company. Contractual VTubers may even be subject to unfair labor practices, including delayed payment, harassment, and toxic work environments." End quote. The competition over views and sponsorships, and the ruthless pursuit of influence and profits oftentimes end up leading to shady dealings, immoral practices, and messy drama. The content creation industry has had no shortage of drama. Popular independent creators stirring conflict between one another. Larger corporations siphoning funds from charity donations. All the way down to smaller creators holding grudges and airing out past wrongs in public. From small squabbles to monumental PR nightmares, drama can appear to be an inseparable part of the creator job description, only adding to the stress that creators have to face. And recent reports on online media use have coined a concerning new phenomenon that thrives off drama: pathostreaming. Pathostreaming refers to sharing pathological content online aimed to mislead or harm, such as obscenity and hate speech, as well as the propagation of hate speech across digital platforms. Pathos streamers capitalize on drama to incite anger in their viewers towards the parties involved in the drama, gaining viewership and profiting off of the misfortune of others. For pathos streamers, they are incentivized to draw attention to and benefit from maximizing the suffering of those involved in the drama, regardless of whether those involved are innocent or not.
When things get misreported, they do cause real harm, especially if the creator themselves is relatively small. They almost never have the ability to contest any sort of large-scale allegations. For a moment, public opinion may favor one party until more evidence comes to light. Then you find out the initial story wasn't all that truthful, or at the very least accurate. Maybe it left out some key details, taking others out of context. It falls into the same consequences of misreporting. Fewer and fewer people pay attention to the follow-up story, dealing the same public damage.
While this phenomenon is not unique to the online content creation space, creators who specialize in producing this type of content have become increasingly visible, such as channels claiming to uncover, investigate, and report on issues, but instead misrepresent, misinterpret, or oversell their claims to fit their narratives. And social media algorithms oftentimes promote this kind of hate watching from viewers and consumers to increase viewer retention and engagement, further driving this type of content creation to the detriment of those caught in the crosshairs.
We live in a scary time when more people now than ever before learn things about countries and cultures from 30 to 60-second videos without context, and where the more sensationalist the videos are, the more you will be rewarded for it. People are angry, both in Japan and around the world at the moment, and this video, or these videos, seem to be exceptional rage bait that made a lot of people angry. Without any exposition on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, they showed a series of awful images in a densely populated area, and if you look at the comment sections, particularly on those shorts, you will see the most vile, hateful, angry comments that you can find. A creator isn't responsible for what people comment on their content, but subtle choices, the way the images and clips are cut and edited together with the message that goes with it, can have a very powerful effect.
For those affected by this phenomenon, social isolation and exclusion from other creators and viewers usually follow, for fear of becoming associated with the drama. Even creators not involved with any drama may feel isolated or alone without a sense of belonging to any group or place. Isolation and loneliness of any kind can lead to anxiety, depression, and insomnia, further impacting mental and physical health. Loneliness can also affect how we socialize, potentially leading to the development of unhealthy parasocial relationships that can further worsen isolation and exclusion. Negative social interaction, along with physical exhaustion and mental depletion, exerts continual heavy pressure on independent, group, and corporate creators alike. Even while striving to maintain a positive work-life balance and healthy lifestyle, the question of burnout feels less of an if and more of a when.
Burnout, not just a figure of speech anymore. It's actually been declared a legitimate medical diagnosis by the World Health Organization.
It is officially defined as a syndrome resulting from chronic workplace stress that has not been successfully managed. And there are three main symptoms.
Here they are: feelings of energy depletion or exhaustion, increased mental distance from one's job or negativity and cynicism related to one's job, and reduced professional effectiveness.
Burnout has been increasing in visibility since the COVID-19 pandemic, as healthcare workers deemed essential faced heavy workloads, long hours, and poor support. Further study into a variety of industries, from healthcare to education to industrial labor across many countries in the world, have shown similar trends. And digital jobs, such as content creation, are no exception. Investigations into lack of satisfaction in content creation on platforms such as YouTube also found similar signs and symptoms of burnout in creators. Burnout has far-reaching consequences in health and well-being. Seems obvious that burnout has profound effects on mental and psychological health, and the most studied symptoms were depression and insomnia. Studies reported feelings of depersonalization as well, specifically feelings of emotional detachment, cynicism, and negativity towards the job, your coworkers, and your clients, or in the case of content creators, your viewers. So the next time your favorite content creators talk about how they ended up sleeping poorly because they were doom scrolling on their phones in bed, instead of shaking your head at what sounds like a bad habit, maybe think about how it could be the result of insomnia caused by burnout. Burnout also deeply affects physical health aside from poor sleep, being associated with higher cholesterol, breathing problems, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and even early death in those under 45 years old, which likely includes a majority of content creators. Content creation can be an accessible career for those with health problems, and many creators with chronic health conditions have found tremendous success. But the many demands of content creation can also worsen existing health issues, or even cause new problems.
So what I'm hearing is that if I become a VTuber, I'm instantly going to have health problems. Well, I think it's like, okay. I think there is correlation, but there is also causation. Like, I think there's correlation of course, like if you have ailments already, or if you have, undiagnosed things, and it makes it harder for you to have the energy to go, find a job / do a physical labor job, et cetera, like you're more bound to gravitate towards VTubing, right? But there's also a causation portion of if you're a VTuber, most of your job is stationary, you're sedentary, you don't really move around that much. Oftentimes there's a lot of stress involved as well. A lot of stressful things in VTubing, man. Lots of stressful things in VTubing. And then you have the element of also not taking care of yourself because, people who end up doing VTubing stuff often hyperfixate. They often don't take care of themselves in that way because of such. Lots of elements, man.
Content creation can be a window to the world, especially for those who are disadvantaged. It can be the perfect medium for expression, to create something that you are proud of, that others can appreciate. Yet at the same time, the health effects of creating content, especially as a full-time career, can be very severe and are rarely talked about. For those with existing health conditions, content creation can be both an opportunity and a curse. Content creators are exposed to a wide range of physical, mental, and social stressors that are associated with insomnia, depression, burnout, and physical disease, including type 2 diabetes and heart disease. But even though these consequences sound dire and the stress that creators face can be serious, that does not necessarily mean that we should give up on creating content. But what can we do to prevent or at least mitigate these risks? The first step is to recognize that these issues are indeed real, which was the purpose of this video essay. Creators should be educated and informed about the potential problems that can arise from their work activity. Balancing work with rest is key, but this is oftentimes easier said than done. Periodically taking breaks and disconnecting from online media and social media platforms and avoiding marathon workdays and overworking can help with recovery and rest. For physical health, regular breaks from sitting and ergonomic adjustments like a good chair and desk can help. Try to keep a regular schedule when it comes to meal prep and hydration. Although the medical establishment has been somewhat slow to recognize the health risks associated with newer occupations like digital work and content creation, timely checkups with your doctor can hopefully catch medical problems early. For all of us viewers and content consumers, the best we can do is to be supportive and understanding towards the creators who we watch. We should respect breaks and give space so that our favorite creators can have the time to rest and de-stress. We should avoid engaging in and spreading hateful and misinformed claims, as the negative social consequences can cause real harm over time. And finally, we should be mindful that content creators give their time, energy, and in some cases, health for us viewers. At least once in a while, we can show our love and appreciation for all that they do.